The controversy swirling around Shadur Sanders has now landed squarely on the shoulders of Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. In a press conference that immediately set off alarms across the NFL world, Stefanski made it clear that Sanders would not be moving up the depth chart. Instead, it would be Joe Flacco, yes, the aging veteran, far removed from his prime, who held the backup spot behind Dylan Gabriel. The announcement didn't just spark questions. It ignited outrage. Why would a coach choose Flacco, who is clearly in the twilight of his career, over a hungry, driven, and immensely talented rookie? To many, it felt less like football strategy and more like a deliberate effort to hold Sanders back. Cam Newton wasted no time tearing into the decision. The former MVP, who knows the grind of an NFL quarterback better than most, called the treatment of Shadur Sanders unfair and unprecedented. He pointed out that Sanders, despite being a fifth-round pick and currently listed as a third-string quarterback, has managed to draw a level of support rarely seen at that stage. Fans are chanting his name, demanding his presence, and pushing for him to be given a shot. Newton emphasized the uniqueness of the situation. Shedeur is the first quarterback in league history to earn this kind of fan-driven movement while sitting as a rookie buried on the depth chart. Newton's message was blunt. What's happening here isn't normal. It's time to ask why. Stephen A. Smith took the debate even further, highlighting the deeper politics at play. To him, Sanders' placement on the depth chart is not insignificant. It matters, and it matters deeply. He reminded everyone that Sanders wasn't drafted 144th overall because of a lack of talent, but because of perception surrounding his father, Deion Sanders, and the ripple effects of his influence in the league. In Stephen A.'s view, the Browns are doing more than managing their roster. They're trying to control the narrative. By keeping Sanders in the shadows, the organization avoids distraction and prevents him from outshining the veterans too quickly. But Smith made it clear that this tactic won't hold. Fans aren't blind, and the more the team struggles offensively, the louder those voices demanding Sanders will become. As the Browns' offense continues to sputter, the pressure is mounting. Stephen A. declared that it's no longer possible to simply ignore Sanders' talent. At some point, the team will have no choice but to unleash him. With the current quarterback situation looking bleak and the fan base growing more restless with each game, the calls for Sanders are only growing stronger. Smith emphasized that the Browns' refusal to elevate Sanders is less about his readiness and more about fear of shifting power, fear of changing the narrative, and fear of a young quarterback stepping into the spotlight before the organization is ready to admit he belongs there. For Sanders himself, the situation has become increasingly frustrating. Up to this point, he has been patient, quietly putting in the work and respecting the process. But recently, he has admitted the frustration of being overlooked. He openly stated his belief that he's better than the quarterbacks currently ahead of him on the Cleveland roster, even targeting Flacco by name. In a bold statement, he declared that he believes he's better than some of the starters across the entire NFL. This isn't just talk. It's confidence born from years of winning and proving himself at every level. Sanders made it clear that being stuck on the scout team is not his end goal. He's determined to use every rep, every practice, and every chance to prepare for the moment he finally gets his shot. And when that moment comes, he intends to make an impact that can't be denied. The tension here is undeniable. Stefanski's refusal to even consider Sanders for the QB2 role has taken the debate beyond football. Analysts argue this is now about control, power, and perception. The Browns' leadership appears determined to suppress the rise of a young quarterback, whose name is already overshadowing the veterans on the roster. The decision isn't just about who takes the field, it's about who controls the narrative. And the longer Sanders is sidelined, the more intense the scrutiny becomes. But there's one factor that cannot be overlooked: the fans. Newton, Stephen A., countless others have pointed out that the groundswell of support behind Shadur Sanders is unlike anything the NFL has seen for a rookie in his position. The power of that fan base is real, and the louder they get, the harder it becomes for the Browns to hold their line. If the voices continue to rise, Cleveland may soon be left with no choice but to give Sanders the chance he's earned. At this point, the Browns are walking a tightrope. Keep Sanders in the shadows too long, and they risk alienating their fan base and missing the chance to build around a true future star. Hand him the reins too soon, and they risk admitting they were wrong to bury him on the depth chart in the first place. One way or another, this is no longer just a debate about a backup quarterback. It's a battle of wills, and Shadur Sanders has already made it clear. He's ready, and he's not backing down. What do you think? Is Kevin Stefanski deliberately holding Shadur Sanders back to control the narrative, or is this just the natural progression for a rookie quarterback? Do you agree with Cam Newton and Stephen A. Smith that the Browns are making a mistake, or do you think the organization is right to be cautious? And most importantly, how much influence do you believe the fans have in forcing Cleveland's hand? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more dramatic updates from the world of sports.